Well, you come out of Baltimore winners 3 out of 4. You love that. We got an update on Yordan Alvarez, the big fella, and the Astros return home where they played really well. Let's talk about it right now.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Heisman. He is Brett Chansey. We are the Locked On Astros podcast, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go ahead and check us out. We do appreciate it. This episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the United States. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. And guys, this weekend, much improved offense for the Houston Astros. Despite the loss on Sunday, the Astros have done what fans have wanted, what the Astros have wanted. They scored a lot of runs, but also it's the way they did it with power, with patience. And the question is, not only did they win 3 out of 4, but the pitching, especially starting pitchers, it was a little bit suspect with two of those games. Can the Astros survive with the starting pitchers they have now? And like Brett mentioned at the start of the show, Yordan Alvarez, is he set to begin the show? It's not to begin to return to the Astros. We'll find out that hopefully by the end of the night. So guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
Yeah, Eric, this is a good overall series versus the Orioles. A lot of good things happened, but a lot of atypical things happened as well. There were a lot of hits. They probably could have scored more runs. If I'm being totally honest, we saw a little bit of some sporadic, some really up and down results out of Arrighetti, out of Javier, but that's to be expected. I just did a show with Mike Stanton recently, and we were talking about Jason Alexander. And we also hit on the guys that have come back from these injuries, whether it's Arrighetti or whether it's Javier. And you're going to have a mixture of that. But what I want to focus on in this first segment is guys like Christian Walker hitting the ball, Sanchez coming off of an 0 for 27, then going 7 for 7 and just lighting everything up. And what was funny was after his 5 for 5 performance, he sat that next game. Well, if you look at his statistics versus left-handed hitting, he only bats like 161 versus left-handed pitchers.
Right.
versus left-handed pitching. And so that's why he sat the game after. Everybody's like, why is this spot sitting him after going 5 for 5? Well, because he knows what kind of success he doesn't have versus lefties. He got right back in there and boom, he is, he was 7 for 7. He had a good series, and the Astros did what they couldn't do last time they played him. They defeated Young and they defeated, Kremer, who both of them had their number in Houston.
Right. And actually, I'd put that in the description of the show. I'm like, the Astros did something that they couldn't do last week, and these pitchers dominated them, but they took care of business in this series. And it was a lot of bit of up and down, offense up and down the lineup, whether it's Christian Walker, and don't look now, but Christian Walker has 72 RBIs. He's actually being a lot more productive. His batting average is still at 237. His OPS is at 708. So he's kind of coming around a little bit that you would like the batting average to be up a little bit, but he's hitting home runs, key home runs in big situations, giving you wins. He had home runs in 3 straight games, I believe, if I remember correctly. And it's just like you're getting consistent offense from Jeremy Pena. Carlos Correa is doing pretty good. And it's just Jainer Diaz had a little bit of scare where he got a foul tip off his, I believe it was his wrist or elbow today, but he stayed in game. And Even Christian Walker had a little bad slide, but he stayed in today's game. So as long as the Astros avoid the big injuries, I think this team will be okay. That's why I was frustrated with the lack of scoring during that stretch, but we saw them in the first 3 games of this Orioles series. They scored 26 runs. And I don't know if that team is going to do that a lot. But, Brett, the scary thing is, we'll have to talk about this in a little bit, is they scored 26 runs in the first 3 games, but they won one of the games 9-8. And they won another game, what was it, 10-7. They needed almost all those runs because the pitching is a disaster right now. And we'll talk about this in second segment, but I'm going to disagree with what you said in the earlier. You said something that Spencer Arrighetti has not been, he's not been contributing, or whatever you said earlier.
I didn't say no. I said he's been up and down. I said he hasn't been consistent, Eric. He hasn't. He was good today for the most part. He sat down, I think, 13 or 14 in a row. He settled down, right? He didn't really give up a ton. But, man, the stuff he was throwing today, he was all over the place. He wasn't even hitting the batter's box. He was going it looked like 50 Cent throwing the first pitch on a couple of those. It was insane. But, Eric, this team, though, I would say this because I want to kind of piggyback on what you talked about this offense and the 26 runs. This is not a high-powered offense. And if people are looking for the offense to carry this team, you might be disappointed in a long playoff run because they are going to absolutely have to out-battle and out-slug the more high-profile teams offensively. This is not a high-profile team offensively. They haven't been a high-profile team offensively for quite some time. We have just been, I guess, not fooled, but we are used to the winning. We are used to the results, not necessarily looking at the run totals. But if you look at the run totals, this team is just a very inconsistent offensive team. But what are the playoffs about? They are about getting hot at the right moment. So if you want to find a 3-week stretch or a 4-week stretch where a team gets hot offensively, and this team does it, they don't have to be the most offensive team out there. But what I don't want, Eric, is I don't want the pitchers to be locked down and the offense to be crap, because we saw what happened in 2005 when they were in the World Series versus the White Sox, where they got swept because they had no offensive backing. So hopefully they have more of what you saw in the first 3 games and less of what you saw in the game today, because they had their opportunities, Eric. They just didn't capitalize.
Yeah. So Trevor Rogers today, he was actually dealing. This is
he was.
It wasn't like this guy is a nobody that people haven't seen before, but he is 7-2 this year in 13 starts. He has pretty much dominated all year. He's got 1.40 ERA. So it wasn't just that the Astros couldn't hit another nobody. This is a guy that's been pretty good all year round. He's only thrown 13 games, so it's not like he's been doing this all year. But for the most part, he has 76 strikeouts and 83 and 1/3 innings pitched. So he has been fooling a lot of guys this year. So I don't think that this was just that the Astros offense all of a sudden just reverted back to the Detroit Tigers series. I just think that they just faced a really good pitcher like they're going to face in the playoffs. And so I think that it's a matter of getting a little bit more consistent, like you're saying, Brett. And you got to just, let's say one guy's having an off day, like Jose Altuve. He didn't do anything offensively today. And that's possibly hurt the Astros' chances of winning today. But other guys need to be picking him up. If Altuve is not hitting, then somebody else needs to pick him up. But I'm not gonna the Astros lost this game, but they still won 3 out of the 4 games. That I think they call this a gentleman's sweep, where you win 3 of the games and you give the other game away, basically. But there's a lot of good things to say about this series. There's also some negative things to look at. We have to look at the big elephant in the room, and that is the pitching problem. The Astros cannot continue to win games with the starting pitching the way it is. We'll have to continue this discussion next on the Locked On Astros podcast.
Time to fuel up. Turn it up with 5-hour energy transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. I can tell, I remember, and I've told this story before, my dad and I golfing at the Battleground Golf Course in San Jacinto, where I hit my first birdie. Maybe if I had the 5-hour energy transfusion at the age of 11, I would have hit about 3 hole-in-ones. But we don't want you taking this if you're that young. This is for the dads out there. This is for the grads out there. This is for the people that make golfing good times with good people a regular thing. So grape, ginger, lime flavor, and 5-hour energy transfusion gives you the best parts of the clubhouse go to without leaving the course or chasing that drink cart. That's right. Now you can amp up with fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. That's 5-h-e-win.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. It does exclude the Masters tournament. It ends October 31st. 2025 energy 5-hour energy transfusion for the win. That was bad.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe to us, and we actually want to hear from you. There is a listener survey that's out there, and we want you to hear what y'all think about the show. What do you think about other Locked On podcast show? So just go ahead and go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everybody who completes the survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. Thank you for helping us out. So, Brett, we're going to go ahead and talk about pitching. Speaking of pitching, I do want to kind of take a second to address some of the listeners in the chat. They're talking about how the game ended. I know it was an 88 mile per hour. I believe it was a fastball or a changeup or something that struck out Pena, but it was outside the strike zone. And it's kind of frustrating when it's a called strike to end the game, especially when it's outside the zone like that, outside away. But that happens, and until you have where you can check the strike zone like next year with the robo umps or whatever's coming on, you're gonna lose some games like this. Unfortunately, it's a situation where you can't do anything about it.
No, yeah, and I mean it was the last at bat. It was an unfortunate called strike just simply because you want to get your chances. But at that point, I didn't really see the Astros doing a whole lot. I mean, look, the Astros gave up the runs early. They gave up a couple runs late. But heck, O'Brien Abreu came in and threw 1 1/3 innings with 4 strikeouts. But today, offensively speaking, Jeremy Pena 2 for 5, Altuve 2 for 5, Urias 2 for 5, Ramon, not Roman or whatever. So Ramon goes out there and has a decent game. Caratini, contributed. Jeremy Pena with another home run. So you did have some things offensively that you liked. You did get I'm sitting here looking at the wrong. I'm
wondering what you're doing.
I am looking at a 10-7 game. Sorry about that. Hey, Pena, Correa, and Diaz both had multi-hit games. I correct myself. Sorry. I was looking at the big scoring game the other night. But you had 3 hitters combined for 7 of the 6 of the 8 hits. You did have 12 strikeouts today. You don't like that. 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position. I was wondering why my narrative was changing on the fly there. And that's why Urias was actually 0 for 3 today. So I stand corrected. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments. That's fine. But Arighetti today, Eric, had a weird game. Rooney came in for his first action as a major leaguer, and Kimbrel came in with 1 inning pitch, 1 hit, and 2 strikeouts. So we finally got to see Craig Kimbrel But look, both teams had 8 hits. Both teams scored 3 runs or less. And when the Astros score 3 runs or less, they're a really bad team. And that's what
Yeah.
they did today.
Yes.
So they are now they're 20-46 when they score 3 runs or fewer.
Yeah. So if you're looking at Arrighetti, it was a situation where you had Lance McCullers on Friday only throw 4 innings, and then Christian Javier on Saturday only threw 2 innings. So the Astros had to use a lot of bullpen arms. I know that they brought up AJ Blueball on Saturday, and I believe he pitched 3 or 4 innings in that game. So you had to use up a lot of arms, and so I'm just making sure. Yeah, he pitched 4 innings in that game. So you had to use a lot of arms and Friday and Saturday. So what they asked is Spencer Arrighetti go out there and go as deep as he could. And this is the first time since coming back from the injury that any of the guys, Lance McCullers, Javier, or Arrighetti, went into the 6th inning. So what Spencer Arrighetti did today is impressive. I don't blame him for this loss. He did give up the 2 runs. Yeah. But you would hope that the offense would score more than they did. But they just got shut down. But Spencer Arrighetti, 5 2/3 innings. Like you said, he gave up the 6 hits. He allowed 1 home run, and then he had 2 strikeouts. But for a while there, he was dominating them 15 straight, and he just was in total control of the game. He didn't have a lot of swing and miss stuff today because he only had 3 whiffs in the entire game. But overall, he was just keeping them in the ballpark for the most part, and he just
outside of the home run he gave up to Gunnar in the first.
Oh yeah, I know. But after that, he kind of settled down, and
he did. He did, and that's the thing, Eric. And not necessarily with Arrighetti as much as with the other guys, but whenever you're coming back from major injuries, you're going to have ups and downs.
Right.
This team just simply has to figure it out. The bullpen has to figure it out. When the bullpen performs, this team does well. And at the same time, when you got a 4-game series, it's hard to win all 4 games. So to win 3 out of 4 after getting your tail handed to you and being embarrassed in your own ballpark, I think is a pretty good response. And it puts you squarely, it keeps you in front of Seattle no matter what they did today or not. They actually won today 11-4. So you're still in front of them. You're still leading the AL West by 2 full games. So, I mean, say what you want. The Mariners have pretty much been a stalemate ever since the Astros have gone up, and that's a good thing for them. So come home, play the Rockies. Pretty decent chances that you win that series. Oh, and then guess who comes to town? The New York Yankees come to town, and they've been playing bad baseball too. They've been playing bad baseball, but they've gotten hot here and there. We know the potential the Yankees have as a very good hitting team. Right. But hey, I hope bad Max Fried shows up because that guy's been terrible, and I hope we face him because he has been getting lit up.
Yeah, the Yankees right now are on a 3-game losing streak. They're now 69-60. The Red Sox have just leapfrogged them. I guess not just, but they are 2 games ahead of them. The Rays are only 6 games behind them. So I know that the Rays are probably not going to catch on to them, but the Astros have just got to continue winning. And you mentioned that the Mariners have been struggling. They were 2-7 before that win today. Now they're 3-7 in their last 10 games. The Astros are 4-6, and that includes a sweep by the Tigers, and they won 3 out of 4 games against the Orioles. So this is a great opportunity playing the Rockies next. There's a day off, so maybe they'll get some more runs and maybe a little bit more consistency with another guy coming back. But yes, some people have been talking about did Blue Ball get sent down? Yes, he did get sent down. That's how Rooney was able to come up and make his major league debut. So that was you're going to see a bunch of roster moves as the Astros just try to figure out how to handle this pitching situation, because until these guys are consistent, and with Christian Javier, you just got to be patient with him. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery. Not everybody can just bounce back and just be somebody that can go 5 or 6 innings every start. It's just you have to learn how to pitch again and do it in a way that's successful. So, guys, we'll go ahead and continue this discussion next. We'll go ahead and talk about Alvarez. Is he coming back? Thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen.
Hey, everybody. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book, and August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. So why don't you take a flyer on the MVP race? Who do you got? Joe Burrow? Do you have Josh Allen? Do you have CJ Stroud as a surprise pick? Are you going to crown your champion in August and be the Houston Texans' first title? Or Kansas City make a comeback? Or is Lamar Jackson finally gonna get that weight off of his shoulders and two-time MVP gonna win a Super Bowl? Look, whether it's a parlay for your division winner dark horse, it doesn't matter. Visit FanDuel app today and start planning for future bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check us out. So we talked about the Astros offense scoring 26 runs in the first 3 games. Now, if you can get that kind of production, that'll be great. To expect them to score 9, 10 runs every game, I think that's setting too high expectations. You like them at least get what's your magic number, 4 or 5 runs? I think your number is 4, right?
Well, it's not my magic number. It's the Astros magic number.
Right.
So here it is, Eric. 4 runs or more, the Astros are 52-13. 3 runs or fewer, they are 20-45. So you make the call, right?
Yeah. So the fact is the Astros need some help. They need some more veteran leadership. They need a big fella in the middle of the lineup, another left-handed bat, and maybe Yordan Alvarez is that guy. And I know that Joe Espada hinted that he could be coming back up to possibly join them against the Rockies. It just depends on how he does in his game today against for the Hooks and how he responds. So this was the exact quote. It says there's a strong possibility that he'll rejoin the Astros on their upcoming homestand that opens on Tuesday. So, Brett, I'll let you give him the overall stats. But in today's game, he is playing DH. He is 1 for 3 with a strikeout, but his overall batting average is .429 with a 1143 OPS.
Well, see, I was going to give my line, but you kind of ruined the surprise, Eric. I'm joking.
Well, there's more.
So it's all good. Well, he has 5 hits, and I guess 1 more hit today. He only has 2 strikeouts. His slugging percentage is .727. He, like you said, rocking an OPS over 1,000. It is only 13 plate appearances. It is only but a few at bats, but he is playing and recovering and doing well and still going out on the field and not having any setbacks. So that's definitely a key. Now, what I think Astros fans need to realize, and I think a lot of our listeners, look, I've got to give our audience credit because they are a very astute crowd. I don't expect Yordan to come back and all of a sudden the Astros start averaging double-digit runs, right? I mean, I would love for Yordan to come back hot, and who's to say he can, especially if it's against the Rockies.
Right.
But you got to give this time to adjust back to major league pitching, so there might be a little bit of a lull. So anything he contributes would be icing on the cake. I know he's excited to get back. I know the Astros are excited to have him back, and having him with Sanchez in there against non-left-handed pitchers, because you don't want Sanchez in there versus lefties, I think is going to bode well for this offense and take some of the pressure off. But it sure would be nice, maybe some other guys get going too. Maybe Cam Smith picks it up. I mean, he really needs to pick it up. And who knows? Chaz, when he gets his opportunities, I know I've kind of been out on him for a while. Whoever's in that lineup needs to hit, but Yordan being back will be a boost to everybody in the clubhouse.
Maybe they'll score more runs than the opposition. That way they can win more games. There you go, Brett. That's your daily Eric advice. But Dana Brown did say
not as good as if you score more runs.
That's basically what I just said.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but Dana Brown did confirm on Sports Talk 790. He did say that Yordan Alvarez is expected to be back with the big league club versus Colorado this week. He also said that Jake Myers is trending towards a rehab start at the end of this coming week. He also said that they're expecting to get all their backs back pretty soon. So if Jake Myers comes back and then you get Alvarez back sooner, I think this is going to be a much better offensive team. I think that, yes, we miss Isak. I think we miss Alvarez, but I think what Jake Myers has done for this team, you can't argue defensively, offensively, what he's done for the team this year.
So, and I know you didn't ask it, but I'm sitting here thinking about this. Whose bat have we missed the most? And it's clearly Isak Paredes.
Yeah, of course.
Isak Paredes is definitely was the offensive leader of this team. Jake Myers, he's been out almost so long, just like Yordan. Yordan didn't really contribute this year. So right. If you do catch lightning in a bottle towards the end of the season, and he does get out at the right time, I mean, it's only going to help you at this point. Because, the not going out and getting the pitcher at the trade deadline and the injured pitchers coming off of IL as a trade deadline acquisition, not really the best of lines for the Houston Astros in 2025. It sure would have been nice to get a pitcher. It would have been nice. I mean, and it would have been cool to get Charlie Morton back. He hasn't been lighting the world on fire. But you just wonder, I mean, were the prices that much, just too high for the Astros to go after any pitching?
Yeah, I guess if the deal for Cease would have been Arrighetti, Bryce Matthews, and a couple other prospects, would that have been too much to bring Dylan Cease over, who's not having a great season? He's a free agent. And even if you brought Dylan Cease over, would that get your foot in the door to re-sign him? Because the word is that he doesn't even want to come to Houston. So I don't know if that's
I'm glad.
The best idea.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't get someone like a Dylan Cease. I do think, though, we should have gotten somebody, and at the end of the day, you got to attack the other teams with the horses you got in the barn, and they're going to have to get the job done.
Yeah, so the Astros, they just got to get better at just being more consistent and playing better against the bad teams. And they did that against the Orioles now. So now you got to step up against the Rockies. So you got Hunter Brown, Framber Valdez, Jason Alexander. So your best three pitchers right now are going against the Rockies. So you would like those guys to be going against maybe the Yankees instead, but you can't alter the rotation. So hopefully those three guys can get some wins against the Rockies.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, you got just right at 30 or just under 30 games left in the season. Every game matters right now. Like you said, look, I think it's just about winning series. I think if you take 2 out of 3 from the Rockies, you take 2 out of 3 from the Angels, you take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. That right there is really what would be a recipe for success. Now, when you look on the other side of the Mariners, who are 3-7 in their last 10 games, after they finished with the Athletics today, they've got the Padres, and then they've got the Guardians. So their schedule is not easy. I think the Astros have to take advantage of these next 2 matchups and really exploit their opponent. But again, they can't have 10 hits and only 2 runs, right? They've got to get the guys on base. They've got to move them over. They've got to score. And so at the end of the day, the Astros offense has got to gain more consistency. And I think you and I see that, but I just don't know I don't know that they're that team. So you have to have a combination of great pitching and hitting, picking it up. But hey, like you said, get to that 4, get to that magic number 4, and I think you're in a lot better shape than if you're not.
Yeah, it's actually 31 games, so it's a right around that number to finish the season, and that's a little bit longer than you might think. You got to hold that lead, and just the Mariners are a decent team. I'm more worried about them than any other team that's in the American
I
League
am,
West.
but they haven't been playing well. I mean,
but
they're
just like the Astros were slumping. Now maybe they're coming out of the slump and playing a little bit better baseball. The Mariners have been hot and cold too. They've been wishy-washy all year. So they could go on another run at the end, is what I'm trying to say.
they've got
with the offense.
So in September, they've got the Rays, the Braves, the Cardinals, the Angels, the Royals, then us. Then they've got the Rockies and the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So if you get in a situation where you're going down to the Astros last series of the season, and there's maybe a game separating us, maybe the Dodgers do us a solid and win that series and keep them out of the division. But Eric, do you think it's unrealistic at this point for us to catch a number 1 or number 2 seed? That's really what I want to know about this team is, do they have it in them to do that? Because they are 4 games behind Toronto and 6 games behind Detroit right now at this point.
I would say there's a chance. There's always a chance, but
so you're saying there's, but okay. Is it, I know it's probable, but is it likely? That's the question.
Are the Blue Jays legit? Can they continue winning, especially with as hot as the Red Sox have been playing? The
Red Sox are on fire.
Yeah, the Red Sox are playing really better baseball. Then you got the Orioles. They're playing a little bit better baseball. Then you got Yankees. They're kind of struggling a little bit, but they're still 6-4 in their last 10 games. So they're going to be playing a lot of good teams in the AL East. So if the Blue Jays continue playing like they have been playing, I think that it'll be hard to catch them, especially with the Astros struggling. The pitching is going to be the biggest thing that's going to keep the Astros out of the one of the buys, just because we don't know. Like even with Framber Valdez, it's like we don't know if he's going to go out there and pitch a shutout or if he's going to give up 6 or 7 runs. And it's so hard to predict what type of night he's going to have. And the consistent guys we have are Hunter Brown and Jason Alexander at this point. And other than that, it's like just like crapshoot.
I think the Blue Jays can cool off a little. The Astros can get hot and they can overtake the Blue Jays. They get that number 2 seed. I don't think they catch the Tigers. I think the Tigers went through their little like lump where they, they're 8-2 in their last 10. But hey, you know what? We get a day off tomorrow, but we're not off because we're going to talk about the series coming up versus the Rockies tomorrow night. So thank y'all for tuning in. This has been another great show of Locked on Astros. Eric and I love coming here. We love that you guys and girls comment, tell us what you think. And don't forget about that survey. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey. And everyone who completes the survey will be entered into a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Locked On employees and families are not eligible.
Okay, I guess that means you can't do it, Brett. Guys, we'll see you
tomorrow. I wasn't going to do it.
And go Astros.
Have a good one. We're out. You should let me do this on camera with like Aaron Boone.